It's time for us to have a conversation about not wasting your inner game. As a high school basketball standout and looking back over my career as a student athlete, I can certainly see areas of how I wasted my inner game. Even though I had a strong inner game when it came to not letting the game get into my head, but there were some things that I could have done to push my game to the next level, but I just wasn't focused. Even after high school, I had an opportunity to play at the collegiate level, but because of my lack of focus, I opted to go into the military and pursue my career in the military as a soldier. Not saying that I regret every decision that I made in regards to my career, but looking back, I can certainly see how there were areas in which I could have used my inner game to make more of an impact, not just with my athletic skills, but skills that affected so many other areas of my life. And when we think about the inner game, we can see individuals like the Kobe Bryants who discovered his inner game at the early age of 13 and how he made a pact with himself to become one of the best basketball players in the world. And we certainly can see the result of him mastering and telling his inner game story through the Mamba mentality. We can see the greatness that came out of his effort to tell his inner game story. And when it comes to great athletes, we can agree to the fact that all great athletes, they have an inner game that caused them to separate themselves from average. And that's one of the reasons why we have to take into consideration that we can't waste our inner game. Now, you might not be the GOAT in your sport, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be the GOAT when it comes to using your inner game in other areas of your life. And that's the reason why I created the inner game ranking system, because I knew that there are millions of student athletes that have the opportunity to play sports, have an opportunity to compete at so many different levels, but they have no blueprint of being able to allow their inner game to become an active participant in pushing their game to the next level. And not just in their sport, but being able to push their skills and their accomplishment to the next level in so many other areas of their life. So what I decided to do in my early 20s, I decided to take the space of personal development, take the space of personal growth. And for some reason, I had this affinity, to understand this space and understand this industry. But I noticed that over the years that interest became such a great passion of mine, to the point of where I started looking for deficiencies. In other words, I started looking at, what we were currently doing in the personal development space and how we were leaving deficiencies in pushing our skills and pushing our human development and growth to the next level. So when purpose development began to emerge in my life, I made a decision that I wasn't going to waste my inner game this time. I made a decision that I was going to do something with purpose that many people never had an opportunity to do with purpose. I wanted to push the envelope of purpose. I wanted to take purpose to the stratosphere. I wanted to do something with purpose that no one has ever done with purpose in their entire life. Therefore, we have the Purpose Development Institute, the PDI. We have the inner game ranking system because of my effort, my work that I put in to master my inner game when it came to pushing purpose development to a new level. And as we take this understanding and we begin to tell our inner game story, we have to understand what it means to have an inner game. And here at the Purpose Development Institute, what I've done is I've defined the inner game so that I can help you not waste your inner game, so I can help you tell a better inner game story. And at the PDI, we define the inner game as the smarts to prioritize your decision making for crushing average. See, when we look at the greats and how they begin to separate themselves from everyone else, they had the smarts. In other words, they made decisions inside and outside the court that allowed them to crush average, inside and outside the lines that put them in a better place to separate themselves from just being average. And that's the reason why we know them as the GOAT. We know them as the greatest of all time, simply because they didn't waste their inner game. They understood the secrets of the inner game. They understood how to tell their inner game story. And the reason why me and my team, we decided to put together this ranking system, because we wanted to make sure that we can help out the millions of student athletes out there that have an opportunity to tell their inner game story. And we wanted to make sure that they had a blueprint to never waste their inner game, so that they can make those smart decisions to prioritize their decision making to crush average. And that's the reason why we are inviting you to be a part of the inner game ranking system, so that whether it's maximizing yourself and your potential in your sports, or taking your inner game and using it to crush average in so many other areas of your life, you understand the blueprint. You understand what it's going to take. You understand the transformation that you have to undergo to be able to maximize your inner game, to tell a better inner game story. And as the CEO and the co-founder of the Purpose Development Institute, I can rest assured that I'm telling a better inner game story. I'm telling a better inner game story as we take purpose development to another level, as we take purpose development to another level of impacting athletics and impacting sports and impacting student athletes in a way that they can never imagine when it comes to using their inner game. So the question is, what will your inner game story be like? How will you tell your inner game story? Will you waste your inner game, or will you use your inner game to push yourself in your sport and push yourself outside your sport? This is Donald Jenkins, your Master Purpose Development Coach and the CEO and co-founder of the Purpose Development Institute. Let us help you master your inner game.